Hello and welcome to my world of crochet. My name is Dean and today I'm here with you for another yarn talk video. And as always, we cannot talk yarn without me having my faithful mug of tea. And today that is a pickwick tea with fruit infusion. And this infusion is with peach. So it is a peach tea. So it's just a classic black tea with a nice infusion of a peach flavor. It's quite nice. This is how the label looks like. It says also with herbs, and it's 100% natural, no caffeine, blah blah blah. But yeah. Oh, a nice fresh peach tea. So we have a bunch of things to talk about today. There is really a lot of things going on, both with my projects, which made great progress, and also with other stuff. So hey, that's wonderful. We are currently just 46 members short, or well, not members, subscribers, I should say. We are 46 subscribers short of hitting the magic milestone of 1,000 subscribers. That's just awesome. I'm so happy that you guys are with me on this journey. And as you all know, I will hold an extraordinary giveaway once we hit that magic 1,000 subscribers. So when the full monetization is tuned in, we will have an extraordinary giveaway up and running. And I am preparing for this, and I have some sneak peeks for what will be in that giveaway later in this video. Most important is that we are to talk about definitely progress and what's been made since last week's yarn talk video. And I finished up the last couple of rounds on the outer edge of my Oasis cardigan. The Oasis cardigan you have seen so many times before. Because it's a project I started on last summer, and then I frogged it, and then I shelved it a bit after I kind of remade wear until lower, because I finished it until I was ready to add arms, and then I was unsure how to proceed from here. I took it with me for Christmas to my parents' place to discuss it with my mom, and we found the solution, at least we think so. Because I've progressed on it since, and now we are actually at the stage where I would say I can sew in the ends of the big circle. When we find the pattern here, we are working in several things. We have the big circle now. I have the gaps for the arms, and I've decided next step is to work on the arms and then these circle flaps. I am actually unsure. It does say first work on the left and right front piece. Personally, I'd rather do the arms simply because I don't think I have enough yarn. And I'm not 100% sure if I need the front pieces. I'm undecided on that. So first I want to see how it looks just with the arms in. The yarn I'm using is this Drops Baby Merino mix yarn. It's 100% superwash baby merino, and it feels super soft. Very, very scarfable, very friendly, very wearable, and definitely also quite warm. I can feel this when I've been working on this piece. As we go on, the bigger it gets, the warmer it kind of gets as well. So it's 100% merino wool, as I said. It's 50 grams, so it's 1.75 ounces for these balls. To 175 meters, so that's 191 yards. They recommend a 3mm needle for this. I'm using a 3.5mm crochet hook. That was what the pattern called for, so that is what I've been doing. And there is not much more to say. It's Dialot, or not Dialot, it's colorway 22, which I do believe they called light gray. It is a light gray, and it can be combined with so many things. I have 3 left, plus scraps, and scraps will be like this, which is not much. So I have 3 of these left plus scraps, and yeah, I'm not sure I'll have enough. I don't have enough to do both front pieces. I'm 99.9% sure of that. I might have enough to do the arms, but I don't actually even know how far I can get with the skein of this for an arm. It is an airy pattern, so I might. But I also know that this yarn, I wouldn't say regularly, but reasonably regular every so few months, they do go on sale. And when they are on sale, that is probably when I will be buying more. So I will keep working on this piece until I don't have any more yarn left, unless of course I finish it before then. And then I might have to shelve it temporary until I can get more yarn within the sales price. Because, of course, I want to finish it. So this is what's left. And I haven't cut the yarn yet. I probably should. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get up off this chair and I'm going to show you how it looks on me. I just need to keep track, because I do have one end where there is a little bit that needs to be sewn in, because I had one, yeah, it's down there, it's okay, don't mind any loose ends. I only have 3 loose ends. I have these, and then I have a place where I do believe, if that's where I ended the last skein, or if the last skein were, I don't remember if the last skein maybe were, if there was knot in it. I don't remember anymore. I'm just getting track of all this before getting up, so you can see how it potentially could get to look like on me. I think this seems to be about right. So I will be getting off of my chair. Sorry for any noises here. We do have a flooring with it. So I will put my chair a little bit to the side so I can easier stand. Go all the way back here to where I can stand, to give you guys a little look at how this is currently showing. So what I like is the extra rounds I added, because when I were live like 2 weeks ago, and we were discussing how many more rounds I needed to add. And I decided to go with a full repeat. So kind of like everywhere where, as you can see, it has these new fans going out. And I decided to make one full repeat. So if I wanted to continue again, I would have to add a new fan. So that's basically what I decided to do. And I'm pretty happy with that. I think the length is good. I might have wanted a slight bit longer here, but then that would be the extra pieces, front pieces I would have to add. But lengthwise, we are covering the belt. The belt right now here I have sitting here for my trousers. So lengthwise, I think this is actually quite good. And I'm pretty happy. And the problem is also, if I keep going round and round and round, it's gonna take a very long time before getting here. And that will only make it longer here. And is that really what I want? The benefit, of course, is if I do what I intend to do, then, you know, if I want to wait adding this front piece, then I can always just add more if I think that's better. But I think that's just going to make it too flappy here, to be honest. It kind of already is a bit due to the circle, but I am theoretically able to cover myself around here if I wanted to. This is not bad. Like, I'm actually pretty happy with the results so far. It's better than I had dared hope for. So that's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. So that's how we are looking on my Oasis cardigan. The next step is weave in these ends and read the pattern and figure out how to do arms. That's the decision from here. And then we will take it step by step, basically. Yeah, so that's the goaling for that. What else do we have started on? We have the In-Lines Alpaca Poncho. But just before we finish that, the Oasis cardigan is a Drops design. It's Garn Studio. They write horrible. Well, they write gorgeous patterns in the sense of the patterns look gorgeous. but the way they're written, if you find a pattern that's easy to read, you're lucky. Most of them can be challenging to read, and they are a bit of a puzzle to solve. Hence why I kind of stranded the project for a bit and then repicked it up. I bought the yarns for these projects like last year, in the spring, late spring, early summer. And I'm not having enough. And I thought actually I even bought an extra skein to have enough, but I don't. But that's maybe also because I'm making a little bit bigger than I once thought I would. Regardless, I'm still pretty happy with the progress I'm making. It's just taking longer than I thought it would. But that's always, you know, crochet does take a lot of time, and that is why we do it with love. But yeah, so the In-Lines Poncho I'm working on, I finished the cowl. And I basically right now have it loose. And I have the cake. This is what's left of the cake so far. I work from the outside of the cake to add the cowl. What I do have on the cowl is I do have ends I need to weave in. I have 2 ends around the starting, and then I have the end at the very top. I just cut the yarn. I do think this morning, actually, just before starting on this video, or did I do it last night? I don't remember before I went to bed. But that's a cowl, and right now it's just one long tube. But what I am gonna do, so you have seen the length of this, and what I am gonna do once I've woven in those ends at the cowl region is that I will continue here. This is like halfway somewhere on the white. I will take the center pull of this, and I will continue crocheting round and around and around until there's no more yarn left. Okay, of course I will stop before the round where I strand, because I'm not gonna have a project ending like that. But except for that, that is the ultimate goal. So I need to make sure my hair isn't getting caught in this. And it's definitely also getting quite much longer. If I'm just sitting, this piece is just like this below the area where my belt is. My belt, yeah. So now if I do like this, you have my cowl. And it's nice and warm, and it is warm because it's alpaca. Like, it's 20% alpaca. Gorgeous yarn. You can also wear it sideways, should you want to. Right now, that is the more tempting part because that covers more of my arms and that feels nice and warm. Though I'm wondering right now if it's gonna be too warm because spring is coming along. But as I told you guys, maybe a month ago, it's okay if this doesn't finish this winter. I will have it for next winter, and I know I will be really, really happy to have it. So this is basically how we're looking so far. I am gonna add the rest of this cake to this. So weave in ends, connect this yarn with the other end I have for the white, and just go around and around, front post, back post, front post, back post, double crochets, with the exception of the tips. At the tips here, I work into the center space here, or into the chain space. I work in 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, and then I continue front post, back post, front post, back post, front post, back post, and all of these front post, back posts are double crochets, as mentioned. That's basically how this is going. And I'm still inclined just to actually keep this on because it is nice and warm right now. So if you guys don't mind, that's what I'm gonna do. The yarn here is alpaca flowers. So that is a yarn art yarn, Flowers Alpaca. It's 80% acrylic, 20% alpaca. It is more or less, I would say 99.99% sure, the same yarn as the Hobbii Wheel of Alpaca. The only difference is the label. I feel 99.999% sure it's the same factory making the yarns. It's just different labeling that they're doing, and obviously different prices. And that's it. That's okay. It's just how it is. So, yarn art flowers alpaca, and as I mentioned, we have the yarn specs of 20% alpaca and 80% acrylic. It's 250 grams. So when this were full, and I started, let's see if I can actually find it. There's an edge here somewhere. When I started working on the cowl, I started on a brand new cake working from the outside until I had done 22 rows. What I did do is I did take the 22 rows, I took it on and I folded it and I checked to see how do I feel this. I think it's a really good height. I don't want to add more height to it. Maybe if you have a longer neck, you want to do 2 or 3 more rounds, who knows. But my recommendation for this pattern is do a little bit of testing just to make sure that you actually like the height, because that is the benefit when you handmade and craft things yourself. You can adapt it to your own personal needs. Perfect, right? When you buy things in the store, that's just the size it has. You can't change it. For these 250 grams, you get, so that's 8.8 ounces, you get 940 meters of lovely alpaca yarn. So that is 1,027 yards. And as mentioned, I'm going to continue from the center and I'll just keep working until, so this will have this gorgeous fade. You can see here going from blue to white. It will go back to dark blue. And that should be the end of this poncho. This poncho is the project wise. What I am gonna do is I am gonna weave in ends today. I have 3 ends up here. I have 2 where I started the round, so that's somewhere here. And I have 2 at the very bottom of the cowl, and then I have the 1 here at the end. I need to weave in those 3 ends, and then I will start probably, and I think I'll do that today. Then I'll start on the outer, like adding the center of this to this. And what I then have is, once that's all attached, so I'm ready to go, I can crank out the rounds of this. But this is my TV project. So when I watch TV with my partner, but it's also my live stream project when I do our lives with you guys, because it is so mindless that I can easier keep track on the chats with you guys while being around and giving you updates and answering all your fancy questions for me, because I do really enjoy that. And without promising too much, I might go live on Monday. That will, if I do that, be Monday evening, somewhere around 2 p.m. Eastern, if I do. That's it, so far from that. And that for the Europeans would be around 8 in the evening, Central European time, if I can get everything fixed and set up for it, and if everything else is ready and handled, then I will probably pop live by then. Yeah, it feels really good. It feels really nice. I just need a little bit more length, but this is nice and warm. It's been raining yesterday, so maybe that's why the air seems colder. But yeah, let's talk about the other projects that I also currently have. These projects are, I have the Fleur cardigan. No, Jesus, I can't talk. We try again. I don't have the Fleur cardigan. I do have the Overlay Mosiac blanket. The cardigan is the Oasis Cardigan. This is the In-Lines Poncho by Tante Traad. It is a Hobbii Plus pattern. Of course, as always, there are links to everything in the description box down below, including the yarn holes where I got the yarns from, the patterns for the projects, if they do have a pattern. Sometimes it's not projects I have patterns for. Sometimes it is from here, but there are projects that I do have patterns for. It's all in the description box down below. But we also have a Mosiac blanket, and I admit, since last yarn talk, I've actually not done anything on it. This is due to a few things. One of the things were that I really wanted to get the final rounds done for the final big circle for the cardigan. And it's been a little bit busy at work. I focused on this when I had TV time with my partner. So I only added the cowl on this week. And of course, I've been busy with the JasmineTea Shawl, which I am doing for the Disley Sisterz MAL or make along, which we will talk about a bit later. But just for you to keep reminded about the absolutely gorgeous, of course, gorgeous mosaic blanket that I'm working on. It is not far. We are still at round, let's see what I did write down, 17. I have a little spreadsheet with striped notes. Using the 4mm crochet hook for this, with the Stylecraft Special DK yarns. It's 100% acrylic yarn, 100 grams skeins, and 100 grams skeins is 3.5 ounces to 295 meters or 322 yards. They also recommend size 4, can be machine washed at 30 degrees, so 85 degrees Fahrenheit. You can tumble dry it if it's at cold or cool. You can also iron it with a cold iron or a lowest setting iron, and you may dry clean it. It's from stylecraftyarns.co.uk, so it's an English yarn. It's made in Turkey though, but it's designed in the UK. This is the piece I have after 17 rounds. I need to add more rounds. I hope to have time to do at least a round or two before our next yarn talk video, because I don't want to let it hang too long, because else I will never get done. Even though I already accepted the fact that this blanket I will probably not have done this year, of course, unless I get extremely motivated and only work on this for whatever reason. But so far that is what it is. I have the 2 yarns I'm currently using in here. As you can see, both yarns are attached to the project, and that is because when doing these Mosiac pieces, you work in the round, and then you work one color, and then you change the next round to work with the other color. And it's an overlay style, which means that you either crochet double crochets, and when you do the double crochets, you do it in the loop of the previous round, in the outer loop. And if you do single crochets, you do those in the back loop of the current round, like the past round. So basically, if I were to do double crochets, I would have to, here in the white, I would have to go down and pick up the white loop down here. If I did single crochets, I would do it in the back loop on this bordeaux up there again. So absolutely gorgeous. What you do get is a bit funky looking back, but it is reasonably symmetrical. Some people option just to keep it like that. Other people's option to add a backing to it, like a cotton, not cotton, a cloth backing of some kind, which can be a range of various different backings. Regardless, I have not really decided what I will do with my backing of this. What I do know is that this piece is going to be absolutely gorgeous once it's done. And I will keep working on it when I have time, but it is a project where I need to be focused when I'm working on it. I need to have the pattern in front of me, and I also need a bit of a table to keep track of the yarns. So it is a project where I'm saying it's not a couch project when you're watching TV, because then I will definitely make mistakes and have to frock it. And what I like least of all is frocking. But I think I'm not the only one having this. Like, I don't like to frock. Who likes to frog in any case? Like, I definitely don't. So it is in my project crate. All of my projects are in project crates usually, including that. We talked about, so 2 weeks ago in that yarn talk video, I said I was going to start a make along. I've never participated in a make along before. It is by Disley Sisterz. So that is a channel by Linda Simpson. I have also the link to the MAL invitation and the requirements of this MAL. You need to start no later than, you need to be you can only first start from 1st of February or later. So for me, that was good because I wasn't able to start on 1st of February because I just wasn't home. And it runs until the 30th of April. You do not need to be finished before 30th of April, but it would be really nice if you can see what you're doing, working on. I started 2 weeks ago. Last week I showed how far I got with the first color. Now I'm ready to show how far I am with the second color, because I did add the second color. I do need one more round of the second color before I can add the third color. I thought I was ready to add the third color around now, but I've gone through the pattern and I've kind of read through it and I'm like, no, you need to do one more round of the correct color. I spoke with RedTeapotAtelier, or we wrote together, and she was a little bit like, you know, there isn't really a rule for when you're changing colors. It's just doing it based on your feeling. And I said, I read through the pattern and my feeling is it will probably end up look nicer if I do one more round before changing the color. But again, that's absolutely personal and whatnot. I'm using the French Cotton 84 yarn. This was the one I had for the first round. That's colorway 93. And that was, I don't remember the color name. I should have written that down. But I started with the colorway 93. They do have names. And then I changed to the colorway 84. So these are the two that you can see in my project. And I do still, as you can see, quite have some yarn left. But as I increase the rounds, obviously, it will take more and more yarns, and the rounds cannot be as long, I would assume, or you would have to buy more yarn. But that's also something I'm willing to do if I, before end of April and almost done with this project, realize I need one more skein or something, I will just need to buy it. And that is one of my exceptions for allowing myself to buy yarn. I'm only allowed to buy yarn when they are insanely good deals. Right now I am tempted because Hobbii had a suggestion for their Sultan cakes, Cotton Kings Sultan. They are like discounted with 58%. I am very tempted. I know that discount will probably come back sometime out in the future. And I do have enough cakes. So right now I'm doing my very best not to get tempted. Because I really don't need it right now. And I'd rather order my next Hobbii order if I need to order more of this yarn, etc. And then I can see what else is on sale if there's anything else I need to get full shipping for. This is how we're looking. This is the JasmineTea Shawl by RedTeapotAtelier. This is how far we are. And I'm actually quite pleased with how this is looking. Of course, it will look so much better once it's blocked. Fair enough. But this is where we're at. And I am, as I said, gonna add one more round here. And I do believe that is single crochets. Back post single crochets, probably. Back post or front post, I do believe it's back post single crochets. Which I need to add to more or less the whole round. And then I am going to change yarn. And the yarn I will be changing to, I have this whole bag with the yarn colors. And the yarn I will be changing to is this. So I can take that one out for showing. What I also have is I wrote down a little note on the right order of the yarn colors. So how I'm changing them. Because it's really good for me to remember, because else I'm like, okay, what color was it now that I was gonna change into? But with everything here written down, I know it. And as you can see, we are turning towards lighter greens, and then we go into the teals, mints, greens. That's the hope and result of this. This is the colorway 77. So we have 93, 84, 77. And for you to get an idea, I'm gonna do like this. So that's basically how we're changing. That's for next week's yarn talk. I don't know if I finished all the way up to add the fourth color, but so far my goal has been for this project to say I need to be ready for the following week. I need to be ready more or less with the next color to do the color change, and then that should actually fit with me being done with this project before 30th of April, because I have 7 colors left that I need to add. And then we just need to get it blocked and everything else. I think it's gorgeous. It is really looking up nicely. And it is a pattern that has quite some puff stitches. and popcorns. So that's definitely something that I am getting good at doing. I like it. It's turning out nice so far. I am definitely pleased. So that's positive. For that, I am also, so the pattern calls for 3mm crochet hook. I upsized the hook because I found that with a 3mm hook, while it did work out, it was a bit too stiff, and this is definitely more airy and flexible. So for me, my tension is definitely too tight to follow that pattern. Upsize the hook, and it's looking really, really good. I am probably out in the future going to do another one of these, but with a color changing yarn. I can imagine that would be really, really nice looking as well. So that was kind of it. So let's see. Yeah, well, we didn't talk that much about this yarn, except Hobbii Friends Cotton, they always have like an ongoing bulk sale. If you buy 20 or more, you get like 40% discount on these yarns. So should I end up needing yarns to finish this project, I will probably buy X amount of these within colors that I think could be really gorgeous for a future shawl, because then I have them laying around. And also these are really good scraps for the amigurumis. You know, I bought and reviewed the books a couple of weeks ago for all the mini amigurumis. This yarn would be absolutely perfect for making these from these scraps. So I'm not really too concerned about having scraps with these. Let's see. To talk a bit about more of the specs of the Friends Cotton 84. It's 100% cotton. It's by Hobbii. It's in the Friends brand, which means that Friends have a range of different yarns. They also have like a wool yarn. They have some twisters. Well, I wouldn't call them twisters, but they are like twisters. Same acrylics, merino wool, etc. But the Friends is so set up that if you have two color numbers, like this is color 77, if one of the other yarns have color 77, these two colors will match each other so well in the dye that you can easily hold them together for a project if you need to combine different types of fibers. That's awesome. It's a wonderful idea from Hobbii. It's really genius. So kudos for that. This yarn is made in India and obviously sold and distributed by Hobbii and designed by Hobbii in Denmark. It's 50 gram balls, so 1.75 ounces to 160 meters of yarn, so that's 174 yards. 100% cotton. Can be washed at 40 degrees Celsius when they are not colored, when they're colored. So that is 104 degrees Fahrenheit. You can boil it if it's just a white. They can handle that. You can iron it. Don't tumble dry. Don't clean. Don't bleach. You can dry clean. That was what I wanted to say. So that's it for this gorgeous yarn, and it feels it's a nice soft feeling yarn. It's good enough for the shawl. I'm pleased with how it's turning out, and I'm really looking for the final result. And I do realize this is all very blue. It's what it is. So the last few things is today. We have more things to discuss. We are not even close. I knew this was gonna be a long yarn talk video, so I do hope you have a bit more patience with me. Because last week I put up a post. I put up a post with a poll on my community tab. Originally, that poll was only actually intended for my members, so not for all my subscribers, but just for my members. In the end, I forgot to turn on that part that said members only. It's okay. All my subscribers got to vote for this, and I actually think it was a nice idea for once, just to let everybody vote on what's going to be my next project. And the votes are running and have been running. And let's see, I did have it. Yes. I have 55 votes on this poll. And I'm just gonna turn the screen a bit so I easily can read it. 55 votes on this poll from the whole community. And the poll is like, you know, I like to be prepared for my next project. What project am I gonna make? I put a list up of projects, and it's gonna be one of these, basically. Help me choose. And we have 4 poles. The one is the Firefly Sweater with the Lamish Soft Sensation yarns. We have the Denver Infinity Scarf with Kind Feather from Hobbii. We have 2 Snuggle Fan amigurumis. That's also a Hobbii design, though I do have yarns from a different brand that I want to use for them. And then I have Dahlia, the Dragonfly amigurumi, also because I have some melange yarns that I want to use for this. It's just like a small project. So the votes are divided as following. The Firefly Sweater is having 47% of the votes and is the clear winner, which means that the Firefly Sweater will be my next project that I will be starting on. And if I will start on it before next Yarn Talk video, not sure, it could be, not impossible. Then the second place is the Denver Infinity Scarf. It's the runner-up. It has 20% of the votes, 22% of the votes, sorry. And the third place is Dahlia the Dragonfly at 20%, and then the Snuggle Fan is down at 11%. So I will be starting on the Firefly Sweater, which is an oversized sweater actually, made in mainly double crochets, so it should be reasonably simple. It is though 2 yarns hold together, and it's supposed to be oh Jesus, what's it called? The Diabolo yarns from Hobbii. I didn't get them. Instead, I got a similar yarn, at least texture-wise, from Lamy Yarns, and that's a Soft Sensation. It is a very light yarn, and it is not having any animal fibers. It is actually a synthetical yarn because it is acrylic and polyester. But what I did do is I found them, and it's 2 strands you hold together. Hobbii suggests, or the pattern suggests, you hold 2 strands of the same colorway together. I decided I'd like to combine, because then I don't need to choose, do I only want a blue, do I only want a green, or what do I want? I thought these 2 would go really nice together and make a very nice, interesting mixture. But what is these yarns do not have the same exact yarn specs as the Diabolo yarns in the pattern. So of course I had to be a bit creative. I bought these yarns last spring in May from Tweedehands Volwinkel. It's a Dutch small yarn store that I've bought a few times from. And you can see the yarn hauls and unboxings, of course, on my channel. I will also link to this unboxing description box down below. It's only 25 grams, these. Like, this is only half the weight of this. This one is half the weight of this one. So it is a fluffy, very airy yarn. For those 25 grams, so that's less than an ounce. That would be like 0.85 ounces, maybe, close. You get 200 meters of yarn. 200 meters of yarn is about 220 yards, a bit less, like 218 yards. It's 96% acrylic and 24% polyester. You need to hand wash this yarn. Don't iron, don't tumble dry, don't bleach, can be dry cleaned, and they recommend 4.5 to 5 millimeter knitting needles. That said, I don't really bother too much about that. I'm going to crochet. It's colorway 62 and it's colorway 12. But what you can see is it's very hairy, just as if it were a mohair yarn, but it is very thin, and you're double stranding them. And I do think the pattern said 4 millimeter hook, but the thing is, the pattern is different yarns. The yarns have different weights and different lengths, different sizes. So what I had to do is, regardless, because the pattern also said, hey, do a test swatch, and you need to see, find the hook size that equals this amount of stitches by this amount of stitches, which is, I don't remember if it's an inch or 4 inches by 4 inches or whatever. It's like 10 by 10 centimeters in Europe. I did that swatch last year, in May, June, maybe? May or June. I don't remember if it was May or June. It doesn't really matter. The problem is, it's been swatched up since and ready to start. So from me to you guys that's voted on the Firefly Sweater, I'm kind of happy you placed the vote on the Firefly Sweater because it's really due time to get started on this sweater. This is the swatch and how it looks when it's double holed. I'm using a 4.5mm crochet hook for this to get the right gauge. You can see I pinned it out because the gauge is based on when it's stretched out. And here you can see up here, that is the end of those. And you can see here the two colors all together. It gives a quite nice marbled effect, I think. So this is going to be the colors I am using with the Firefly Sweater. And these are the yarns, and I will get started on that. The only question is if I really reach to get started before next yarn talk video. It's not something that I am fully decided on yet. It kind of depends on my mood and what I feel like doing. First, I need to get the rest under control, basically. I need to weave in some ends on this one, I need to weave in ends on the next one, and I read the pattern. And because the Oasis Cardigan is like almost my first priority to get finished. But, you know, I have so many things going on. So I'm just going to do what my mind feels like. And my mind is set on the Firefly Sweater. So that is the next project I will start on. But the question is if I will start before next yarn talk video. We will have to see next yarn talk video. So therefore you have to come back. Hey. So we talked about it before. If you haven't done it yet, do hit that subscribe button down below. And the notification so you get notified whenever I do post new videos. The last few bits before I am going to bid my farewell for today is, of course, as I promised you, to show you the next yarn that I'm going to add to the big giveaway once I hit the magic 1,000 subscribers. And the next yarn that I'm going to add to this giveaway is a papatilla yarn, and it is the Angora, and it's an absolutely gorgeous yarn. It is not Angora in the yarn, but it has wool in the yarn. It has merino wool, and they are pretty big balls actually. So let's see if I can get them up here. So here we have them, and they're quite soft and scarfable. Papatilla Angora with merino wool. Isn't this gorgeous? You can see under here there is greens. So I'm going to tell you a bit about this yarn, of course. It is the colorway 556/37. I do believe it's the one they call Parrot. I have two of them, and I'm going to add both two in the giveaway. It is a good sized skein because this is 3.5 ounces. So I have two skeins of 3.5 ounces. So that's 100 grams both. And for those 100 grams, you get 550 meters of yarn. So you get 1,100 meters of yarn. Here's 1,100 meters of gorgeous yarn. It's equaling 601 yards. So basically that means that you have 1,200 yards of yarn here. 1,200 yards of yarn. More than enough to make a good sized scarf, shawl, cowl, or maybe even enough to make a smaller sized sweater. Further than that, it's 80% acrylics, 20% merino wool. It's wash at 30 degrees, can be machine wash at 30 degrees, so that's 85 degrees Fahrenheit. Iron at low, lay flat to dry. Do not tumble dry, do not bleach, you may dry clean. And they recommend, and this is difficult to read because it's all the way funked up here. It says you need 2 bolts for a scarf. So I said you can easily get a scarf out of it. It's classified as a 2-weight fine, and they recommend a 2mm crochet hook. I would say I would probably upsize the hook for this. And knitting needles 3 to 3.5 millimeters. So let's just to make it nice for you guys. This is how it looks against your finger. Size-wise, I would definitely compare it to similar to Twisters. Hobbii Twister yarn. Thickness-wise, maybe a little bit thinner, not much, but this does then have the halo. So that's the yarn that I'm going to add to my huge 1K subscriber giveaway. But that giveaway haven't started yet. And to get that one started, we need to have a few more friends in this Yarny family. We are getting close. And maybe if we are lucky, we can do this big giveaway in March. Crossing fingers. If we do, I am happy. That said, this yarn talk video is really coming towards its end because I think I covered all the topics. I really hope you enjoyed this yarn talk video with the updates of everything. And therefore, I'm going to wish you a very enjoyable weekend, unless you're watching this at a later time. I just wish you a great week ahead. I wish you all the health and stay safe and happy crafting, and take care until I see you again. Bye. And oh, last thing, don't forget that on Monday, I am actually visiting a physical stores on my yarn tour. So there will be a nice video on that. And of course, we are back with a giveaway on next week, Wednesday, until the yarn haul on, not yarn haul, yarn talk next week, Friday. Take care until I see you again. And maybe Monday, I'm here with a live. Bye.